Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long time, 46 years in coming, but today I am delighted that the persistence of so many is being rewarded. This new Borders railway line is the result of £300 million of investment and the expert work of more than 1,000 people.
First Minister, ladies and gentlemen, the Duke of Edinburgh and I are delighted to be back in the Borders today, and especially to have arrived by train. It has been wonderful to witness the excitement which the return of the railway has brought here. The Borders Railway brings so much promise for sharing and invigorating this most beautiful countryside as a place to work, live and enjoy. Prince Philip and I are very grateful for the warmth of your welcome on this occasion. Many, including you, First Minister, have also kindly noted another significance attaching to today, although it is not one to which I have ever aspired. Inevitably, a long life can pass by many milestones. My own is no exception. But I thank you all, and the many others at home and overseas, for your touching messages of great kindness. So now, to the business in hand, it is my very happy duty to declare the Borders Railway open.
I've been in the Borders over 30 years. This is the best day the Borders have ever had. It's so important for us to have this railway back. Fantastic day. And I thought the Queen and the First Minister spoke beautifully. Delighted it's happened so well.
It's absolutely tremendous. This is a day that will be unique and will go down in history forever, really. It's a fantastic, amazing day to have the Queen here on this very special day, here in the Scottish Borders, opening our very special railway is just tremendous.
Oh, it's so exciting, isn't it? And the kids just loving it. I was just having a chat with them. Everyone is so genuinely excited by what this means for the region. And you couldn't ask for more publicity than having the Queen come here on the day she becomes the longest serving monarch. Fantastic.
The eyes of not just Scotland, not just Britain, but the world on Scotland and the Scottish Borders today.
Absolutely, and there's so much that we know. If the world gets a glimpse of the Borders and gets to see what we have on offer, that train line wouldn't be big enough. And in fact, the demand to get it on further will just grow. So an exciting day, and I'm so glad to be a part of it.
This takes the cream, obviously. Worked on steam a long time, a lot of charters. I have worked the Royal Train before with steam, but this one was just that little bit extra special. And I think what made it special really was the Queen's Day, you know, the longest serving monarch in history, and that made it just a little bit special for everybody.
You'll have travelled up and down many of the country's rail lines. Yes. How does this newly reopened Borders line compare?
It's a difficult line. It's a really difficult line for the steam engine. The long gradient, especially what made it worse this morning, having to stand at Yoke Grange, and then from a standing start in the middle of the bank, which is, you know, normally you'd come by New Craig Hall and you'd get a bit of a run at the bank, but unfortunately we couldn't do that today. But hopefully tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow and we'll get a run at the bank. But it's a difficult line, it really is. The gradient's difficult to come up with a steam engine, but we dug in and we got there, so that was the main thing.
The exhibition has always been in this coach, and the coach had to be completely taken apart almost and rebuilt to house the original exhibition. I took over the exhibition a couple of years ago, and this year we're doing a very particularly North British attitude to the whole thing, and we have the idea of how the railway was built, and then the running of the railway, developing into British Rail, and then the closure of the line in 1969, and then at the end we're looking towards the future, what we intend doing with the area here. Now the heritage side of this, of Whittrop, is very, very important, and we hope to in the near future develop the navvy side, because this was a very important area. Just behind the coach here was where all the navvies stayed, and Mr. Ritson, who was in charge of the contract, that's where he stayed, and all the workshops were here. So in the future we want to rebuild the navvy hut and try and give our visitors a navvy experience. Whether that means a jug of beer and a spade and a shovel, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. And at the moment we've introduced some electrics into the system, where we have interactive things that people can turn wee knobs and things and change lights and so on. And we've also got the shop and the buffet, which has been extensively redone, so that we've got quite a good system here. But I shall be changing the navvies, and then at the other end we'll be putting a thing to do with the various railway signs on the trackside signs that will be developed for next year at the other end of the platform. This is my favourite. It belongs to Matt, who was one of the original people who formed the Waverley Route Heritage Association. But this lamp from Fountain Hall Station, to me, is the thing that I would want to save in case of an emergency of any kind. This is, to me, is the most important thing to me.
All we'd planned was a little heritage centre, 2 coaches and some picnic benches and so on. And the next thing, of course, somebody said, would you like some track? And lo and behold, 1.5 miles of track were donated while they were doing the track renewals on the Settle line at the time. Well, you can't say no. But we had to pay for the transport, which was quite substantial. There was 24 wagon loads of track came in 1 week, which was amazing. So it was like a track depot. Everything was stacked up 6 high. We just grew like topsy. You start laying track, and then the next thing is, well, how about the platform? How about this? How about a car park? And so on. So you just keep going until you reach the stage we're at, which is something like 11 years down the road from a standing start with nothing on site.
We're always looking out for volunteers. The more we could get, the more we could run activities in the centre, and the more work we could do on the locomotives behind us, the coaches, and everything would move forward. Anybody that can paint, do general things, we could use them. It's not skilled people that we were looking for.
Yeah. You sometimes have to sit down and just look around and think, what was it like even 5 years ago? It was nothing like it is today. Yeah. So looking backwards is very therapeutic, because you can get very tired and so on, but it's really good to see the progress we've made.
A lot of thought went into it, but new processes, working closely with the Dutch on they're actually the LRU machine, long rail unit, how the actual rails came off, how many we could deliver at a time, how many trains were required, what was our recovery plan if anything did go wrong. Most other jobs were seen as a nuisance, making noise, being a bit of a harassment to the travelling public. This job, completely different. Every single day there was someone somewhere with a camera, a video camera. Some of the line-side neighbours were offering us cups of tea and coffee, which was unique. I've never ever heard that anywhere else before on the railway. I had to learn new loading manuals for the safe delivery of the rails to site. The guys on the deck working with the machine, they had to learn how it worked before we even started. We had a couple of trial runs to make sure everyone was happy, and we weren't requiring any additional training. Everything went well. We're working through a Scottish winter. There was only 2 days we actually got soaked through, but other than that, the weather was kind to us. The high point was getting to here. Just an emotional burst just when we got to here. It was a huge big cheer went up. It was a remarkable achievement. If I had a magic wand, I would go with stage 2, yes. I would love to push on. Unfortunately, that's out with my pay band.